Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about the Miami Dolphins and what they did on Sunday. They whooped some Denver Broncos ass, and it was an embarrassment that we haven't seen in years. Miami Dolphins, a franchise with 58 years of history, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in their books, and the only undefeated season ever in the NFL. They went out there and dropped a whopping 70 points on the Denver Broncos. That's right, 70. They were just playing with their food out there. They could have scored more if they wanted to, but they decided to take a knee in Denver territory on their last drive. Mercy, which is the stupidest thing I have ever heard in my life. They had no mercy in getting to 70 points. Why couldn't they add another 3 or 4 points to tie or get the record? There are many reasons why the Dolphins whipped some Broncos ass outright, but for Tua, it was the lack of confidence that Coach Sean Payton had against. Now, let's talk about this Miami Dolphins offense. They're unstoppable. They don't need Terron Armstead, and they don't need Jalen Waddle. As long as they've got Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill, they're like a freight train rolling through a paper wall. 4 touchdown drives of 75 yards or more in the first half alone. Tua completed his first 17 passes, a career-long streak for him, and ended up with 309 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, he had 9 catches for 157 yards and a touchdown. MVP race? Oh, it's on, folks. Tua or Tyreek, who's your pick? But hold up, there's more. Devon Achane, a rookie, came out of nowhere and put on a show. This guy had just 5 yards on 1 carry coming into week 3. And what does he do? He rushes for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns on 18 carries. 2 more touchdowns through the air. I mean, what are the Dolphins going to do when Jeff Wilson and Salvon Ahmed come back from injury? It's an embarrassment of riches, I tell you. Now, let's talk about injuries. The Dolphins were already without Jalen Waddle due to concussion. And then they lose River Crocraft to a shoulder injury. They had 4 wide receivers available for the entire second half. And on defense, Jalen Phillips, he's hurt again. 2 injuries in 9 days. That's not gonna cut it, young man. And last but not least, let's talk about defenses. The Dolphins, well, they weren't perfect, folks. Missed tackles, blown coverages, you name it. But they made the plays when it counted. They forced a fumble and intercepted a pass deep in Broncos territory. Meanwhile, the Broncos, Vance Joseph, their defense coordinator, had no answers. This man might be on the hot seat again for the second time in 5 years. Vic Fangio, he's looking like the better option right about now. In the end, the Miami Dolphins put on a show, and the Denver Broncos, well, they were left scratching their heads. Somebody on the coordinator side needs to go. It's a wild world in the NFL, folks, and you never know what's going to happen next. What are your thoughts on this game? Whose head needs to be on the chopping block for the Broncos? Are the Dolphins for real?